Hey fans and subscribers, this is your host Joe on the Gaming for Insight channel with you to bring another session of Quick Chat. The topic is the ONEXPLAYER G1. My guest tonight is Game Tech Talk. Game Tech Talk, welcome to Quick Chat.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here, Joe.
So I understand you have gone hands-on with the ONEXPLAYER G1. This is an exciting device. It's very versatile. It has some great features to it. The form factor is really exciting with the RGB. And I understand on your channel, you have had the opportunity to upload a video that's doing very well. You got to go hands-on with it. What feature about the G1 stood out to you the most or captivated you the most about this unique and versatile gaming device?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, and happy to be here and talk with you. There's a lot of things that I like about the G1, but for sure, the thing that stood out the most, and I would think probably for just about anybody, is, at least for me, is the fact that you can take away the keyboard. So to me, it completely changes the way that you can utilize a laptop, or that I like to call game top. It has that modularity to it that you can go into a productivity mode where you have all the space for keyboard and trackpad, and then take it off and still have some of those layers, but in a more gaming centric kind of perspective, which to me is a pretty big jump for people fan of the form factor that also wants to have a better balance towards gaming overall.
Yeah, being able to use the keyboard after you remove it, that is an awesome feature, at least to me, because it means that there's still a use case and it's not something that you just have to take and put to the side and have to do away with it. You can use it on the desk, and it makes it more approachable for the device instead of being locked into the other keyboard as well. Again, that versatility there. And if you had to choose, here's a question for you. And at CES, actually, this was part of the discussion that took place at the ONEXPLAYER booth. If you had to choose between the X1 or the X1 Mini, between one of those devices and the G1, so you could go with the G1 or you could go with the X1 or the X1 Mini, which would it be and why?
Okay. So there's a lot to unpack here. First of all, I would say between the X1 and X1 Mini, I would go X1 Mini. As much as I love the X1, and I have both the Intel and AMD one, I find that the X1 Mini just has a better balance overall in terms of weight, distribution and everything. But I'm coming to understand, as I'm using the G1 more and more, that, and I'm really thinking gaming here specifically, although for productivity I think the G1 just wins by default because it's kind of a better produced unit for productivity. But when it comes to gaming, I'm realizing one thing. I am one of those that likes the controllers for the X1 and X1 Mini. However, when we're talking specifically ergonomics and just weight distribution, everything is down the middle, so it gets very heavy, and you're holding from the outskirts of the device, so to speak. So the weight dispersion is kind of hard to manage, hard to deal with, which is something I realize the more and more that I'm using the G1, and let me show you guys, is not something that you have to deal with. As you're holding it, like, everything is center mass within your two hands. So it holds very nicely. It stays very put in your hands. And the way that you're gaming over time, I find potentially has, especially for long duration, just a superior experience overall. And this is something that I have not yet talked about. So this is, for your viewers, because that I have not addressed that at all yet in my videos. This is something I feel has potentially a benefit in terms of just ergonomics and duration over the X1 Mini, which, as I said earlier, between the two, X1 Mini was my favorite. There's a chance that G1 might take the cake here, honestly.
Yeah, I can completely understand. The G1, it just has it all. You don't have to worry about attaching the Joy-Cons, bringing those with you, taking away the keyboard. It's all in one on the G1. And whether you're on the go for productivity or on the go for gaming, or you want to dabble in a little bit of both, you have it right there all on the G1. So it's interesting that you provided that answer as I was leaning towards that as well. But I have been really thinking about that question since CES this year myself. Now, with the time with the G1, how much did the Radeon AI9 HX370, I understand that was the APU on that one that you got to work with, as there are some other options for the APU, but with the HX370 APU, how much did that APU influence your opinion about the G1 and what you liked about it?
Quite frankly, I not as much as one would think, because the HX370 is without a doubt an improvement versus the 8840U. That goes without a doubt, but the improvement is not so substantial that it would warrant going from a one-to-one device, you know, for that APU upgrade. Not considering that you would have to buy a brand new unit with the uplift that pretty much every market has experienced with AMD's decisions to increase prices for their chips. So all that considered, is it a great upgrade? 100%. But to me, the form factor with the G1 is what makes it extremely exciting. I am one of those that actually do enjoy the WinMax 2. I think it's a great device, and I try to keep with the overall impression from the communities. And a lot of people kind of are not interested in the WinMax 2, but it's one of those devices that the more you use it, the more it makes sense. So to finally have a solution that sort of piggybacks off of that style and improves at least towards the gaming aspect a little more is, in my opinion, what makes the G1 the very interesting device that we are first seeing. Well, it's the first iteration from ONEXPLAYER, and one of the, I guess, the first new designs that we're getting in 2025, although there's the Ioneo 3 that will follow shortly after if we're to follow the Indiegogo shipping dates. But yeah, the G1 it's very exciting, but not because of the HX370. Again, not that it's not exciting. I just think as a standalone, for what it stands for, it has a lot to provide to a lot of gamers out there looking for a great mix of gaming and productivity.
Game Tech Talk, thank you so much for joining me on Quick Chat. Take care now.